This is the point in the video where we are unlisted before we go live to the public, just to test to see if our audio is working. It is 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. For whatever reason, my audience is like me. They like to sleep, or don't like to sleep, I guess, because the 1 a.m. streams do so much better than the 1 p.m. streams. I don't know why. Let's see how this goes. Let's do a quick test. And we are testing. Oh, let's do a quick test. And it's working. All right. So we're going to switch this from unlisted to public. We're going to publish it. And we're going to see who joins. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Please take a moment to hit that like and subscribe button. And let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry. I hope that you enjoyed my stream earlier today. I guess yesterday, technically, at 1 p.m., where I talked about, amongst other things, the Monroe Doctrine and James Monroe. Why? Because James Monroe, President Monroe, was a Freemason. In fact, he was the second Freemason president, the first being George Washington. So some really interesting, interesting little bits of Masonic trivia therein. All right, let's give it a few minutes. Let's see who joins. Hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry. Positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear them. And let me know what thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. Love to hear them. Keep in mind, all opinions are my own. I've been a Freemason since 2007. I don't know everything about Freemasonry, certainly, but I do know at least my experiences, and I'm happy to share those experiences with everybody here. So positive, negative, or neutral, please let me know. Thank you all for being here, and I hope that you guys are doing well. Once again, let's see if we have another successful 1 a.m. live stream. Every live stream is successful if I get to talk to somebody. However, in this case, I will say it feels especially successful because I have been getting recently over 100 people watching at once, 100 viewers, which is a big milestone. Amber 6804. Okay, very cool, Amber. I hope that aside from being a Freemason, you also hit like and subscribe. I'm currently the Worshipful Master of Border Cities Lodge number 554. From whence are you a Freemason? Or where are you a Freemason? While Amber 6804, I do question that a little bit because Grandmaster, it's rare, but okay. In that case, from which jurisdiction? Sorry, story. Frey. I can't read that. I cannot. Well, you should always try to live with status, I guess. Scotland. Okay, well, I mean, Scotland is a really beautiful country. It's a country that I love. I visited, I say that I visited it once my whole life, but I loved my visit there. I was in Edinburgh at the Grand Lodge of Scotland. Thank you, Broad Board. If you have any questions for me, I'll do my best to try to answer them for you about Freemasonry, and I hope you hit the like and subscribe button. I don't know who that famous guy is. Oh, well, there you go. We got the jokers already on the stream. Hello, Trive. I can't pronounce that either. Hello, 6534. Please hit like and subscribe. Welcome back. Google isn't God. I hope that you are doing well. I hope that everybody's having an excellent night. Let me know if you have any thoughts on Freemasonry, positive, negative, neutral, and broad board. If you have any questions, I can do my best to answer them for you. Again, I've been a Freemason since 2007. Ultimately, everything I say is my opinion and my experiences. It's not automatically, equivalent to what a Grand Lodge may say, but it's my thoughts, my opinions. This is my haircut. Yes, I got a big nose. Hit the like and subscribe button. I would very much appreciate it. What is Freemasonry? Asks Cronium. Welcome, Cronium77. Freemasonry is a civic organization, a civic or community group that evolved from stonemasonry guilds of the Middle Ages. So think about it as a very formal civic organization. In some ways, you could even think of it as a very formalized guys' night out. King Carl says, Hail Satan. Well, Freemasonry is not a religion, Nathan. So that is not the point of it. It's not a religion, or nor is it religious. The point of Freemasonry ultimately is the same point as the point for any other civic or community group. It is to fulfill the human desire for friendship and to fulfill the human desire to be part of something greater than oneself. Um, no different than almost any other group. Freemasonry, though, dresses it up in more ceremonies and rituals and historical traditions, if you will. Jeffrey, I do not believe the Freemasons qualify as a cult. By the way, Jeffrey, please hit like and subscribe. Freemasonry is not a cult because, amongst other things, Freemasonry does not try to separate you from your family or those outside of Freemasonry, right? One of the famous things about a cult, one of the famous organizations in terms of, or famous, principles as it relates to a cult will try to separate you from family and friends and anybody outside of itself because it wants unlimited control over you, or at least your finances. Freemasonry encourages you to put your family and your work before, and your deity before Freemasonry. Um, I have no idea what that means live from CTST, but please hit the like and subscribe button. Well, Google, I mean, don't think of it in terms of higher degrees. That's not the right way to think about it. The highest degree within Freemasonry is the third degree. There is, however, appendant bodies. There's even Memphis Mizraim, which goes higher than a third degree. So, hello from London, England. It's Jazz. Hello from Canada. I was just in London. Beautiful country, beautiful city. Please hit like, please hit subscribe. I'd very much appreciate it. I do not know what an interesting qualifier. Oh, do you mean to the idea of a cult? Well, I think that's what most cult experts would say makes a cult. A cult is this need for them to separate people and their membership from any outside groups. It's the same reason why you have, for example, scammers. One of the first things they'll do is they'll tell the person they're scamming, don't tell the police, don't tell friends, don't tell family. Because if they do, the friends and family or police will warn them they're being scammed. We are not 9559 Mitten. I'm just going to call you Mitternacht. I can't pronounce that name. We are not MITT. We do not sacrifice anything except, I suppose, our time and somewhat our energies. I have never served wine. I don't drink wine, but okay. Welcome, Chris Jones from Toronto. I hope you'll hit the like and subscribe button, Chris Jones. I'm about 4 hours away, Windsor, Ontario. So I love Toronto. Great city. I'm very often in Toronto, but whenever I'm in Toronto, it's usually passing through. I'm either going up north to Ottawa or going to the airport or something like that. Um, uh, I don't know what God, gold, and glory references. Um, awesome, Zarnath. Please hit like and subscribe. My grandfather and my father are both Freemasons, and my grandfather on both sides of the family, both my mom's and dad's sides are Freemasons. Guten Tag, Elias. Welcome, Elias. Please hit like and subscribe. Well, the G on the ring, I don't tell people what it stands for. A lot of Masons do. I'm one who chooses not to. So what I'll say is if you want to learn, you got to join. Father D. Thomas, luckily, I'm not spreading the word of God because I'm a Freemason. And Freemasonry is not a religion. I was talking about Freemasonry, which I love very much, but it is not a religion. If you're looking for somebody to learn more about God in a religious sense, or even in just a theological sense, you're going to want to go to a biblical scholar or a religious scholar, or maybe whatever belief system you have, your priest, your rabbi, your imam, whatever it might be. Um, I know a lot of Shriners, Bartholomew. I know a lot of Shriners. Yes, I got a big gap in my tooth, Father D. Thomas. I've grown to accept it. You can hit the like and subscribe button. So it's Ron Cena. I love John Cena, by the way. I don't know if that's a reference to John Cena at all. It's Ron. The way one joins is ultimately it's the age old to be one, ask one. You need to find a Masonic lodge within your area, contact them, and hit the contact them. I'm just putting some people in timeout. Was hit like and subscribe. You contact them. You express your interest in joining. You explain why you're interested in joining, and you go from there. It's a process, especially now in 2025. They're not just going to let you join right away. They should take some time to get to know you, and you should take some time to get to know them, talk to them, learn more about the craft. Eventually, they'll give you an application form. You'll get a couple of sponsors, and you'll go from there. So being a member, really, it depends on your jurisdiction. Primarily, what being a member entails is paying yearly dues, which can be as low as $40 per year to as much as, for me, 175 per year American. It really just depends on the lodge and how expensive it is to operate and upkeep. Beyond that, really how much it entails is up to you. I'm, proud to say I'm always attending Masonic meetings. I'm very active. There are some members I know who attend one meeting a year, some who attend one meeting a month, some who attend one meeting every 2 years. What I would say, though, is the more active you are in Freemasonry, the more you will get out of it, and the better it will be in terms of your membership and your enjoyment of it. What's the difference between Shriners and Masons? So Shriners is an independent body of Freemasons. So to be a Shriner, you must first be a Mason. And from there, you can choose to join the Shriners. The Shriners is a group within Freemasonry that is very much focused on charity, as well as more of a almost hail fellow well met. They have a lot of banquets and dinners. They enjoy each other's company more kind of not so much formal, but more like dinner type settings. They have the cars. They're more of the group. In some ways, you could view the Shriners, at least for me personally, I view the Shriners as kind of the fun side of Freemasonry, the fun and charitable side. Um, I got ugly teeth. I've grown to accept it. Mr. Sandman, you should still hit like and subscribe. I don't know enough about Scientology to say Father D. Thomas. What I would say is I'm not going to judge a Scientologist or Scientology. If someone joins Scientology and they enjoy it, more power to them. You don't have to be Scottish to be a Freemason, Elias. It's perfectly fine to not be. Um, I do not know what taking Jerusalem means, but let's not be taking anything. Let's just focus on talking about Freemasonry. So Google isn't God. I always tell people if you have a felony in your past, that doesn't automatically mean you can't be a Freemason. What you should do is approach a lodge, express an interest in joining, and just be honest and direct with them. Say what happened, how long ago it was, and what was going on in your life at the time, and also how you managed to turn your life around. And then let the lodge decide. Never prejudge. The key is just be honest and direct. My nose might be big, Father D. Thomas, but you should still hit like and subscribe. Welcome, Herzen. Thank you for being here. Lotus, name of God. Mr. Sandman. Many people are rude on YouTube. I've grown, and social media in general. I've grown to accept it. There's not much you can do about it. But the fact that Mr. Sandman, you apologized is greatly appreciated. So thank you so much. So Father D. Thomas, how would you define a cult? How would you define being in a cult? They raise money for Shriners hospitals, orphanages. They help especially children who are, suffered from burn victims historically. And just in general, they do a lot of incredible charitable work. I'm not a Templar myself. It's Ron Cena. So this is something a lot of people struggle with when they ask what is the point of Freemasonry, including Freemasons. Because Freemasonry really did start with a single purpose, and that was to meet. It really, and gather and be within a larger group. It really started for the same reason guys will organize a guys' night out or a boys' night out and go to the bar or restaurant. It's just about being around other people. It really didn't start with any other purpose beyond that. I mean, a knitting club, it starts because people want to knit together. A football team starts because people want to play football together. Freemasonry literally started with a desire that men had to be part of something, to be part of a group. And then from there, they developed formalized rituals, ceremonies, traditions, all of which were meant to form bonds of brotherhood with people. Because originally, what Freemasonry was a group of men asking a stone Masonic guild if they could join their group and be part of their guild, not to build things out of stone, but to get the social aspect and the social benefits of it, both in terms of being around people you enjoy, being part of something bigger than yourself, but also the social aspect of and benefit of having kind of a social safety net. So if you find yourself in difficulty or troubles, there are people on whom you can rely. So really think about it. Imagine 300 years ago, if a group of guys said, "Hey, let's all go out together at the local tavern and enjoy each other's company," not even to drink necessarily, just to enjoy each other's company. And over time, they kept doing it and developed rituals and ceremonies and inside jokes. You can put it that way, or inside information about about their nights, and eventually it formed into this actual civic organization or civic community group, which then started to develop charitable wings and traditions and practices and all the rest of it. So I hope that makes sense, Ron Cena. Again, just imagine a group of guys getting together for a guys' night out, having certain traditions and ceremonies and rituals that they've developed as part of that guys' night out. And imagine that going on for 300 years and the guys' night out getting bigger and bigger and bigger and more involved. I hope that made sense. I know how it can be tough to describe, but I hope that made sense. Mr. Sandman, um, well, it's much more than a social club now, but when people ask what its purpose is or why it started, it really did start as a social club or gathering. I mean, in some ways, you could argue it started because people wanted to, learn some of the secrets of Stone Masonic guilds, but really it did start as a very formalized social club and it grew from there. I mean, I love it, but I also recognize that the fact I love it reflects me and not on the craft. It's no different than a song. At the end of the day, my favorite song, Simple Man, is just a song, right? I'm not trying to sell it short because I love it. I love listening to it. But what makes it special is not the song itself, it's me and my relationship to the song and how much I love it. Freemasonry is the same way. Some people join it and they say, "I'm not really interested in this. I'm not interested in the traditions, the ceremonies. For whatever reason, it doesn't speak to me," and that's perfectly fine. But when you ask what the purpose of Freemasonry is or why was it formed, again, just imagine 300 years ago, you and your friends get together for a guys' night out. Other people want to be part of the guys' night out. You develop traditions, rituals, ceremonies. You bond with each other. You're there for each other. You support each other. And it just kind of grows and grows and grows. And it's a beautiful thing the way it grew and how it grew. But really, again, when you ask why did it start, what's the purpose? It really did start without any purpose beyond men wanting to be in one another's company, support one another, and act as a social group, which in some ways you could argue it's the most purest form of that desire we all have to belong to something greater than oneself. What are my thoughts on the Islam religion? Asked Mr. Sandman. My thoughts are I will not be a reviler of anyone's religion. So I've known a lot of Islamic brothers. They're great guys, great people, great parts of the craft. Sure, of course, John. I mean, brotherly love, it's a real thing, right? I think it's very, I mean, I think, I have no problem saying I love my Masonic brothers. They are my brothers. I'm grateful to have them in my life. Well, I mean, definitely like UCC, Freemasonry has at various points, because it grew, because it grew so much from the Middle Ages. Like, don't forget, when Freemasonry first started, when the first speculative Masons joined Freemasonry in 1634, Freemasonry wasn't that big of a deal, right? It just because people were drawn to it, because they liked the traditions, because they liked the camaraderie, because they wanted to be part of this social club and social group, it grew to greater and greater extent. That is when some of these, negative stereotypes started to develop. And it's unfortunate that that happened because again, there is something beautiful about brotherly love, about a society that is tolerant of different religions, different political beliefs, different ethnicities, cultures, ages, stations in life, all coming together for a common purpose, which is, bonding, friendship, and brotherly love. I think it's a beautiful thing, right? In Freemasonry, we often talk about happiness, and the purpose is to be happy. It's a little bit more than that, but at its core, yeah, it's about being happy. And we've shown time and time again, despite what introverts may say, happiness usually comes from being part of something bigger than oneself. Um, Meadow, please hit like and subscribe. I'm very sorry I didn't see it. Um, that's true, Mikey UCC. You did because they were your brothers. And so, um, because, you were in lodge with your brothers, not only could you speak freely, but you could reliably understand that even if you had disagreements with them, political, religious, or otherwise, that would not affect you in the lodge because you couldn't bring those things up in lodge. And if you brought them up outside of lodge, you were still brothers. One of the great example of it is um, we were talking about this afternoon. James Monroe of the Monroe Doctrine fame. He was a senator in the United States government at the time George Washington was president. He actually greatly opposed George Washington's presidency. However, and they were like political enemies. However, they were both Masons. They were both brothers. And in fact, George Washington ended up appointing him Minister of France or Minister to France, even though they had political disagreements. But I would say the need for secrecy, it's a little bit more complicated than that. So part of the need for secrecy was absolutely, you're meeting with brothers of various political beliefs and ideologies. You don't want to go around sharing those. People should have the right to decide what they want shared about them and not shared about them. But really, at least in my opinion, based on my research, the primary reason for secrecy, which again, I don't think was there, in 1634 as much, really was out of respect for the Stone Masonic guilds and not sharing trade secrets. We just kind of adopted that as a way to bond ourselves with each other, right? But in its core, the tokens, the grips, the words, Mikey UCC, really that's a tradition and evolution from Stone Masons and Stone Masonic guilds and the need to protect trade secrets. It's interesting, Charlie. I don't know much about Freemasons and the French Revolution. I really should learn more about it or study more about it. Within the American Revolution, um, it's not so much that Freemasonry itself had influence, but there were many Freemasons who were, for example, founding fathers and um, signed the Declaration. When I say many, 13 out of 39 Declaration signers were Freemasons, and approximately 9 to 11 um, of the about 56 founding fathers were Freemasons. So less than half, less than uh, less than a third, I guess. Well, Seabass, I mean, I didn't say it's just that. I said that is what, it was founded on. That's what it is at its core. But then it grew and it grew and it grew. So maybe, the guys start, let's take a look. Let's imagine a modern evolution. You have a group of guys, they develop a guys' night out. They go to a local bar. Maybe eventually enough people are interested in joining this guys' night out that they make more and more friends. Now there's a group of 50, 60, 70. Maybe they decide they want to start, instead of going out to a bar because it's too big, they want to actually build their own clubhouse, building, hall, and meet there and cater food in. So everybody within the group pays a set amount of money. They all chip in and they build this hall for themselves, right? And then maybe they decide, a whole new batch of people want to join it. They all join it. Maybe they realize, hey, we got a lot of people interested in being part of this guys' night out, willing to pay dues. Maybe we'll start trying to do some charitable things. Maybe we'll start to develop some of our own traditions and rituals to help bond us together or just for fun. Maybe some of them develop naturally. Maybe every time they watch football, they all wear, a jersey of the team or have to bring a potluck or something. And as time goes on, a greater and greater amount of people are interested in this, and a greater and greater amount of buildings are built. And then maybe another group a town over hears about what's happened. They have their own guys' night out. They're enjoying it. They create their own hall. And it just builds. You got to understand, Freemasonry, it's existed for over 300 years. And it started with two speculative Masons, or excuse me, three speculative Masons joining a lodge in Scotland. And consider from those three what we have now. It just takes time and effort and interest, and things grow. That's the beautiful thing. Over 300 years. I mean, you can debate on the dates. Most people would say, and I tend to follow this, the first speculative Masons joined a lodge in Scotland in 1634, and the Grand Lodge of England, was founded June 24th, 1717. Thank you, Herzen Ritter. Not everybody agrees with you, but I agree with you. I think I'm beautiful. I think I'm very handsome. I wouldn't use the term beautiful. I think I'm very handsome. My thoughts on Venezuela, these are my personal thoughts. All I can say is I very much hope that this doesn't set a precedent where we start to see other countries such as China and Taiwan, or China going and, taking over Taiwan or something. I'm concerned about the precedent it's setting. N8 Dog, if you want to be a Freemason, what you have to do is find a local lodge in your area, contact them, and express your interest in joining. The Disappointed Optimist, I am going to let you in on a secret. I am not a fan of The Lord of the Rings. I have never seen the movies. I've never read the books. I mean, if I had to pick one, I would say Gandalf, but that's just because it's the only one I know. The Disappointed Optimist, here's my question to you. Have you hit the like and subscribe button yet? Don't forget, all opinions are my own. Kwana Souza, Santa Catarina. Con, I've been to Brazil a few times, actually once. I want to go back. I love Brazil. I loved Rio de Janeiro. It was an incredible city and an incredible country. Please, Juan Souza from Itaja Santa Catarina, please hit the like and subscribe button. Stretch, also, please hit the like and subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it. And I hope that you are doing well. My channel has absolutely been growing, and that's thanks to all of you. And once again, any thoughts on Freemasonry? Positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear it. Nate Dog, I love Michigan. Michigan is the bomb. It's one of my favorite places. I'm right across the river in Windsor. And I'm in Michigan quite a bit. Real, if I was or wasn't, it wouldn't make a difference. What Freemasonry is not discriminate, so I don't answer that question. Real twins, you need to hit the like and subscribe button, though. I am almost at 3,240 subs, which would be wonderful to get to. Silkton, go Buckeyes, beat Wolverines. I got to cheer for the Wolverines, but Silkenden, please hit like and subscribe. Yes, I got a big gap in my teeth. Hit like and subscribe. It shouldn't make a difference, though, right? Is the point. It's kind of like, I've used this example before. In that case, I guess you're never going to hit the like and subscribe button. It's not that important to me. My example that I always give is if I was going to paint somebody's house and they asked me if I was gay, I wouldn't answer because it's not relevant to the question of, can I paint your house? So, that's okay, Silkton. You're still never going to know. I'm not going to answer the question. I don't know who this person is, but this Kyle Franklin character, but this person is very close to getting a ban from me. I just don't like to ban people on the channel. I try my best to avoid it, but sometimes it happens. Sorry, real twins, you're on your own. I guess you'll just never know. As always, though, do not forget, if you have any questions about Freemasonry, please let me know, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear it. Somebody above, El Guapo, please hit like and subscribe. Dylan, thank you. And thank you, Dylan, so much for always taking the time to comment on my videos. People don't realize it, but hitting, commenting on videos absolutely helps big time with people finding the stream, finding the channel, commenting, liking, subscribing. It all helps me in my efforts to promote the ways Freemasonry was and is relevant to the communities in which it's located. Freemasonry is not a religion. Nate, Freemasonry is not a religion, nor is it about religion. It is a civic group or community group or organization. Well, no, I don't think you're an a-hole real twins. I never said that. I'm just saying I wouldn't answer the question. Yes, bubonic, but my question for you is, can you smell the like and subscribe buttons, and will you press them? Frankie, I don't know what that means. I hope you have the like and subscribe button. I mean, I'm the SHIT, whether whomever. It's me that makes me the shit, not anybody else. Fromaggio, you smell like cheese with the name like Fromaggio. Please hit like and subscribe. Yeah, I mean, that's a good way to put it. Religion, it's not religion, it's a practice in some ways, but again, what I always say is Freemasonry inhabits the civic space. There's a space for religion, there's a space for civic community engagement, there's a space for civil engagement, and there's a space for political engagement. Freemasonry occupies the second. Dylan, I don't believe that. I believe in a supreme being. I'll tell you what is real, though. The like and subscribe buttons, please hit both of them. Mom, Full Nelson, worry about that after you hit like and subscribe. It's a group that helps the community, Nate Dogg. It's also a group that helps the membership therein, right? It provides a sense of support, a social safety net for its members. It's also about guys just enjoying each other's company, wanting to gather, wanting to be part of kind of something bigger than themselves. I've always said that, in my opinion, the ultimate kind of goal of Freemasonry, or my belief, is that Freemasonry demonstrates that the world can be made better through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Brotherhood is important. I think we've lost that somewhat in society, right? Everybody's so isolated, it feels like, and on their phones. We've lost kind of civic engagement. And it's not just Brotherhood, by the way. Freemasonry also has the Order of Women Freemasons. It has Co-Freemasonry, which is men and women's groups, and it has Eastern Star. So it's not exclusively a fraternity, but when I speak of Freemasonry, I usually speak of it from the fraternal side, just because that is the side I'm most familiar with. Geometro, please hit like and subscribe. Interosity, do you also love the like and subscribe button? It is not a cabal, Jor, but please hit like and subscribe. Dylan, I believe in a supreme being. I've always said my understanding of the supreme being is that it is represented by the rational nature of the universe as expressed through the math and science and geometry. There's a saying that you're the average of the people around you. It does, absolutely, Mikey UCC. But like I said, I think ultimately at its core, Freemasonry, I've said this before. So that's because, Nate, joining is kind of a leap of faith. Like I can't tell you what the benefits of joining are for you because I don't know you. That's why you need to get to know the lodge. Like some people, It's so hard to describe it well. So here's what I'd say, Nate Dogg. If you like for me, one of the benefits is it makes me feel closer to my grandfather. He passed away before I was born. I never got to meet him, but he was a Freemason. And being close to him, being a member of the lodge makes me feel close to him. Other benefits, I just genuinely love Freemasonry, but I couldn't know that until I joined. It's no different than my favorite song. I've used this example a million times. Mikey, UCC, you may disagree with me on this and put in the chat. My favorite song is Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. I love it. It's, in my opinion, the greatest song in the world. Um, Somebody could have gone up to me before I ever heard the song and said, "You will love this." You know, they couldn't know I would love that song. I couldn't know I would love that song. I had to hear it and then realize I loved it. None, Jacob McFadden. We don't sacrifice kids as Masons. I just had to hear it, and for whatever reason, something about Freemasonry just stuck with me. And I loved the ceremonies. I loved the rituals. I loved the idea of universal tolerance that it espouses. I loved being in a group with all different religions, ethnicities, ages, backgrounds, and working together in that spirit of universal tolerance. I loved some of the skills I developed when it came to, running and organizing a meeting. I loved some of the community work we did. But at the end of the day, I had to join to find out, right? And for you, I think that's why it's so important to take your time if you're interested in joining, right? What you had to do is, talk to the Masonic Lodge, express your interest in joining, and ask them about their lodge. Get to know the guys, and eventually there is an element of leap of faith to it. But for me, I would say the benefit is I've used this example before. What is the benefit of listening to my favorite song? I like my favorite song. Um, what is the benefit of being a Freemason? I like Freemasonry. That's it. There is no touching Philip Miller. And there is no rituals with boys because story Freemasonry, you have to be at least 18 to join a Masonic lodge in the States. You have to be at least 21 to join a Masonic lodge in Canada. But I always say joining Freemasonry is at least a little bit a leap of faith. And unfortunately, what that does mean is sometimes people join and they find out they didn't enjoy it and just Freemason doesn't speak to them, and that's okay. But a lot of people join and, like me, find they love it and are at a Masonic meeting every night. For others, they enjoy it, but it's a take it or leave it thing. But I can't tell you what the benefits of joining Freemasonry would be for you. You kind of have to experience it. No different than I can't tell you what your favorite song will be a day, a week, a month from now, because you might hear a different song and fall in love with it. You know what I mean? Would I join Skull and Bones? I wouldn't because I'm Canadian. I think you have to be from Yale. We got the hearts, Smokey the Clown. I do not know what it means when they say humans are batteries. Judgment Day, if you want to join, that's awesome. You got to find a Masonic lodge within your area and express your interest in joining and go from there. You can't join through a YouTube channel. Don't know anything with the Hellfire Club, but probably with a name like that, I don't think I would. Slick Rick, Albert Pike is my enemy at this point. There's this expression, Masons know about Freemasonry because they're Masons. Non-Masons know about Masonry by reading Albert Pike. And the problem is they get all of it wrong. Albert Pike was a dude, lived in Nebraska, born in Boston, wrote Morals and Dogma. He really wrote a book that primarily applies to Scottish Rite, Southern Masonic jurisdiction that people have. And even then, it's his opinions and his philosophies. It's not actually representative of the craft as a whole, but people read it and just go off on all sorts of crazy tangents with it. Is it hard to become a 33rd? By the way, Jacob McFadden, please hit like and subscribe. No, lodges are not full of evil. Lodges are full of good men trying to be better, or at least trying to be good men even. It's sometimes hard to even do that, to just be good. You don't always know what it means, but we try our best. It's not hard. It just takes time. It's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like cooking a Christmas turkey. It's not hard. It just takes a long time. You got to be patient. Um, Nate Dogg. So there is no, as a general rule, there is no monthly time requirement. And this is something I personally, I speak for myself, disagree with. I kind of wish they did have time requirements. The one requirement they do have within Freemasonry is dues payment, and that allows you to maintain the lodge buildings and the lodge infrastructure. Um, I'm attending, oh, my caller, I'm attending Masonic lodges like 4 days a week. And not just in my home city, I travel around all the time. Because the beautiful thing about Freemasonry is I can visit other lodges that are recognized, and that's really, really cool. Um, I know some Masons who visit lodges once a year. I've known some who visit lodges once every 3 years, and I know some who are there 4 or 5 nights a week. It really is kind of dependent on you and your schedule and what you can do without harming or taking time away from your family or your employment. Dues, Interasti, Dues, dues. ZC, please hit like and subscribe. I think we got Smokey the Clown in. So it depends, Andy. By the way, Andy, please hit like and subscribe. There is no specific amount. Every lodge sets their own due schedule based on their expenses. So I'm a member of 5 Masonic lodges. Um, the least expensive dues I pay is $40 American per year. That's for a lodge in Israel, actually. The most expensive is 175 Canadian, soon to be 250 Canadian. So I would say if you are a member of a single Masonic lodge, you can expect your dues to be between $100 and $300 US, tends to be the average. It is decent, Andy. If you join a lodge in a small enough town, it gets better in terms of it gets cheaper. If you're in a lodge in New York City, probably a little bit more expensive. Yes, Mikey, my lodge has won the traveling gavel. Riddick, well, please hit like and subscribe, whatever you may think. Jacob McFadden, please hit like and subscribe. Sammy Arnaluk, I love the thing. It's a great movie. No, you don't pay with your soul, Jacob. I've been a Freemason for almost 20 years. All my opinions, by the way, I'm expressing are my own, but I've been a Freemason for 20 years approximately, been to thousands of meetings around the world. I feel like my soul is still pretty intact. So, Jacob, I understand that's some type of weird conspiracy. I don't know what it is, the whole red shoe thing. What I'll tell you, though, is I don't have any shoes because I have no legs. I was born missing my legs. Um, my boss was a grandmaster. So, if he was Gothic Slam, I'm Canadian. By the way, Gothic, please hit like and subscribe. I have to like the Red Green Show. Um, well, Alvin, hit the like and subscribe button. I'll see what I can do. So, somebody had a question above, and I think I missed it. So slippery. I mean, there is like when it comes to the local lodge or a lodge itself, they don't have grand masters. They'll have a worshipful master. Grand master is responsible for the entire jurisdiction. But yeah, they do a lot of charity work and good for. I mean, Freemasonry has done a ton of charitable work and engagement over the years. The Masonic Charities Foundation is a great example of some really incredible charitable engagement by Freemasons and something I'm really proud to see them do. I am Canadian, born and raised in Winnipeg, currently live in Windsor. I'm not going to put Bale paintings in the back. MIR, please hit like and subscribe. Um, Mer2613, I would not even know where to find a Bale painting. Um, I do not know to whom you're referring, but it sounds to me like you've spent way too much time looking at a bunch of nonsense on Twitter. Oh, Eric, I love Ottawa. I spent 2 years living in Ottawa and then visiting it frequently. One of my favorite cities in the world. I think the greatest city in the world is Chicago, but I think the second greatest city in the world is Ottawa. I love it and adore it. And then Winnipeg and Windsor are up there as well. Nice. Windsor is a great city. Michigan's wonderful as well. Um, how many millions, Holly, as DFG? I have no millions. But if you want to help me get to the millions, do a 99-cent super chat and hit the like and subscribe button. Every little bit helps. Um, truly, truly, every little bit helps. In my effort to my passion for Freemasonry into a profession. And I have been growing like crazy. So Andy, they don't have to. Traditionally, they always did. And the reason was they wanted to give not just you, but if you have, for example, a family member like a wife, a girlfriend, whatever it is, give them a chance to answer questions as well. So they don't want you to feel like they don't want your wife, your girlfriend, whatever it is, to feel like, she doesn't get to say or she doesn't get to know what's going on or she doesn't get to ask questions. And also it's just more convenient for the candidate to go to their house where, they're going to be, they know where to find it, but it doesn't have to be at one's home. And that's a long ways into the process, right? At first, what you do is you just ask for, express an interest in joining. They get to know you, they talk to you, go out for coffee, hang out, you get some sponsors, then you can talk about where you're going to have the next interview. Yes, Nate Dogg, many have done that. Many, many have done that. It's a Windsor tradition. Um, Well, it shouldn't. If it does, Mikey UCC, then that's because, the Basin allowed it to. Freemasonry will always say you have to put your family and your work first. And, I always tell brothers, I've had some people, not brothers, I had some people apply to join and tell me that their wife or girlfriend was uncomfortable with their joining, but they wanted to. And my advice to them is, don't join until or unless their wife or girlfriend is comfortable because it's only going to create problems for both the Masonic side of your life and the non-Masonic side of your life. Um, I am a huge Spitfires fan. Um, I am absolutely a huge Spitfires fan. Go Spits. Um, yeah, it's. I mean, look, and at the end of the day, people are adults. They can make their own decisions. If they were to say to me, like, you know, I don't care what my wife or girlfriend thinks, I'm joining, I'd probably sponsor them because they're adults and they have the right to make that choice. But I'd warn them, like, because it doesn't make them, it doesn't demonstrate poorly on their ability to be a good Mason or be part of the lodge. But I would say, I'd warn them in advance, like it's probably not the best choice to make. Um, I mean, I never watched a lot of Don Cherry, but I don't really watch a lot of sports to be honest. I'm just so busy with Freemasonry. I don't have time to watch sports. So, Andy, you have to have sponsors in almost every jurisdiction I'm aware of. It's two Masons who sign off on your application. That doesn't mean you're a Mason yet if you have two sponsors. That's not where that doesn't mean you're automatically a Mason, but that means the application can proceed to the next steps. But you don't need sponsors right away, right? You just need to go and talk to them and express an interest in joining, and that's it. Once you've done that, there's processes, but they may take you out for coffee, they may have dinner at the lodge, they may get to know you, you get to know them. At a certain point, they'll give you an application, and a couple brothers will sponsor you. But at the start, just express an interest in joining Freemasonry and get to know them. I do not, but I want to, Holly. I want to learn sign language. It's on my list. Um, well, James, you should not watch that. Hit the like and subscribe button. Um, so please hit like and subscribe. I mean, I don't understand too evil, to hope why it would seem like slavery. I would say, in some ways, Freemasonry is the exact opposite of slavery in that, people come and go all the time. People join and leave and demit. And I mean, you're not bonded to the lodge by any means. Andy, no worries. Thank you for being here. I hope if you enjoy the channel, you'll maybe consider doing a super chat or sharing it. So you need to believe in a supreme being, which is Enlightenment term. Traditionally, people, when they think of supreme being, will think of a one of the, let's say, Abrahamic religions, or Hindu or Sikh, or even Buddhist or indigenous. Some may be like me. I don't believe in any particular religious deity, but I do believe in a supreme being, best understood as the rational nature of the universe, so more spiritual. What I would say is, again, don't prejudge it. At the start, just go to the lodge and express your interest in joining, and explain what it is you believe. If you absolutely don't believe in a supreme being of any sort, if you say there's nothing, then you would not be able to join what is called a regular Masonic lodge, but you could join a liberal Masonic lodge in some places, like the Grand Orient of France, for example. Um, so you could do that, or you might not just be able to join because you have to believe in some type of supreme being to join regular Freemasonry. Um, well, let's not, Holly. Let's not. CZ14. It's 151 for me. Well, no, let's not. Freemasonry is not about building walls, although what you're saying there is a political question. Freemasonry is about universal tolerance. Well, I'll work on it, Josh. Honestly, I don't disagree with you. One of the things I've really tried to focus on with Freemasonry is trying to make our buildings as accessible as possible. That includes putting in sound systems for those who are hard of hearing, maybe not deaf, but those who are hard of hearing, having presentations with ASL interpreters, and having braille signage on our any signs within the building for those who are blind. So I'm working on it. You're absolutely right. I actually have in past done Masonic written work in multiple languages, primarily French, but also Indigenous, even Spanish. Well, fair enough, Formaggio. I feel like you use the term sounds gay a lot. By the way, there's nothing wrong with being gay or straight, whatever you are. Freemasonry does not discriminate based on sexual orientation, nor should it. So that's a good question. I mean, I would never say that Freemasonry ever had power. It had relevance because there were so many members, right? The reason that right, Freemasonry had relevance is because you had so many members. Unfortunately, as civic institutions and civic society has just fallen since really the 70s and 80s, less and less members, it's become less and less relevant to people's lives. Um, and that's, I think, unfortunate because I think whether it's Freemasons, Elk, Moose, Knights of Columbus, communities are better when there's a strong civic infrastructure on which it can rest. So there you go. I mean, Freemasonry borrowed from a lot of different sources when developing rituals and ceremonies. It even borrowed from Greek mythology, specifically the Muses and the Seven Muses. What I'd say is Freemasonry, I think, has a lot of respect for symbolism, whether it comes from theology or mythology, especially ancient mythology. It has a great deal of respect for it. Um, it is not Ingzingoku. I can't pronounce your name. Please hit like and subscribe. Well, 093, if that's the case, the least you could do is hit the like and subscribe button. Um, well, so to my knowledge, I don't know if there is a Grand Lodge of China in Beijing. I could be wrong. There is a lot of Freemasonry in Hong Kong and Macau. I can't speak for Beijing. In Hong Kong, it developed from United Grand Lodge of England. In Macau, from Portugal, which is really, really cool. That history is really fascinating. It's worth studying up, that's for sure. 3,240 subscribers. Thank you so much to everybody who has subscribed, who has helped me make this stream a success. I really appreciate it. I mean, when I say a success, it's still growing, and that is truly an honor. Looks like, well, Cactus, it looks like you should slap that like and subscribe button. So what's the purpose of existing? Really, dude, the purpose of existing is to hit the like and subscribe button, is the purpose of existing. Also, I don't think there needs to be a purpose in the big sense. I think you can find a purpose, and to me, The purpose is to try to build a better world through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Young Junk I am, you Lou. You should hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you so much. I made it over 3,240 subs, so that's incredible. Um, it's too late for intellectual shiz. It is 1:55 in the morning here, so um, well, I'm grateful Freemasonry exists. I mean, I'm grateful that I exist. I'm grateful that Freemasonry exists because I didn't have to. The odds of me existing are like 1 in 1 trillion or something crazy. The odds of Freemasonry existing, who knows how you define that? Um, I'm grateful to be here. Our Nader Rotin, you say 56? Are you 56? Please hit like and subscribe. Not a huge fan of Manly P. Hall, Jordan. What people need to remember is his most famous book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages. He wrote that way before he was a Freemason. Like, he wrote that, I think, like 20 years before he joined the craft. Um, I am a Freemason. I've been a Freemason since 2007. So almost 20 years, which is crazy to think it's been that long. Time absolutely flies. Days go slow, years go fast. Don't ever forget that, because it's absolutely the case. I hope everybody watching this is doing well. I will be back on at 1 p.m. Maybe I'll finally talk about geometry, which I keep meaning to talk about and never getting around to. Well, you can't really be a Freemason spiritually. You can share certain parallels in terms of maybe thoughts with Masonic symbolism, but ultimately, to be a Freemason, you need to be part of a Masonic lodge. I don't build anything. Josh, I don't know much about the Rothschild family. I understand some of the Rothschilds were Freemasons. I don't know which ones. It's not a family I know much about. Freemasonry is more than a single family. It's more than a single member, right? It's decentralized. So you need to keep that in mind. Good for you, Holly. I think nothing but respect for learning multiple languages. I think, I have a great deal of respect for people who learn multiple languages. I think, if nothing else, it's a show of respect. I am a Mason. I'm not a Freemason. Um, young Junkin, fair enough. Please hit like and subscribe anyways. We're going to give it a few more minutes and we'll be ending this stream. It's been a great stream thus far. I'll be back on in about 11 hours. Thank you all for being here. Me, please hit like and subscribe. Stonecutters are awesome. Probably everybody's favorite Simpsons episode. At least if you're a Freemason, it's your favorite Simpsons episode. We got some other emojis happening. Are you a subscriber, Cody? That's the better question. Are you a subscriber? Good night, Google. I hope you enjoyed the chat. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Please don't forget, you can share, you can like, you can subscribe, you can do all that good stuff. It would be greatly, greatly appreciated. We got 25 people watching right now. Thank you so much. Again, a couple weeks ago, I got over 100 people concurrently watching, and that was a real honor. So let's keep it going. Let's keep it growing. I really appreciate everybody who is supporting this channel. Again, you can support me other places as well. Keep in mind, Patreon, Podbean, etc., etc. The Stone of Triumph. Yes, I love the Stone of Triumph stuff. All right. I will see everybody if you want to join me, 1 p.m. Eastern, so about 11 hours. Last time, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and thank you all for being here. I'll talk to you all soon.